free speech is no longer a given in Europe.
In a democracy, opposition is essential. It is vital.
I'm struck by the fact that in many European countries, support for right-wing populist parties has blossomed. I think the common thing is that people have grievances against some sort of establishment, whether it's local elites or global capital.
Well, I think populism in the Netherlands was on its height in 2010, because that's when Geert Wilders' PVV managed to attract 1 out of every 6 voters.
These people feel that the country they grew up in has been taken away from them, and Wilders takes advantage of that.
What happened in Greece recently is that we had 2 extremist right-wing parties come out of nowhere, literally, and catching almost 20% of the vote. I am worried about the rise of these parties, and particularly about the neo-Nazi party, Golden Dawn.
This is a very nasty party that makes the Front National of Le Pen look like a model of tolerance and enlightenment.
Alors, il est vrai que le Front National, dans la période récente, a connu une progression. Pour la première fois, en 2012, on dépasse la barre des 6 millions d'électeurs.
These political parties, they don't want an open society. They don't want diversity. They don't want to be open to the world. The political discourse of the National Front is very radical, it's very strong.
These parties have been rising across Europe probably since the early 80s. So it would be, the one thing that we're clear about is that it would be a mistake to blame the more recent economic downturn for their rise.
It touches upon issues like the disillusionment with politics, with the capacity of governments and political parties to engage with issues that are close to the heart of the electorate.
It's not about the euro crisis. I would say it's not about immigration, actually. I would say in the Netherlands it's about growing inequality.
If you ask the political party, do you have really an answer to the situation? I don't think they could say yes.
Le Front National persévère aujourd'hui parce qu'on est dans une crise morale.
I think we can be hopeful because populism is a volatile ideology. It explodes and then it implodes. Ideas come and ideas go.
The thing about the far right, from my point of view, is that they don't have the answers. They're not going to get rid of crime. They're not going to make poor people richer.
Si vous voulez, ces électeurs du Front National, ils expriment des inquiétudes, ils expriment de vrais problèmes. Le chômage des jeunes, les inquiétudes vis-à-vis des problèmes de la délinquance, petite et moyenne, qui rend la vie au quotidien extrêmement compliquée dans de nombreux quartiers de banlieue en France. Et donc il faut que les mainstream parties, les grands partis, arrivent à répondre de manière crédible sur ces questions.
I think that it's the duty of the big mainstream parties to actually debate the different ways in which European integration can be continued in the 21st century, because the more they debate robustly and intelligently about the different reasonable options that we have, the less space they will leave for parties to promote some unreasonable options.
These people can be brought back. They're the voters with changeable minds. If mainstream parties actually learn a few key lessons, one of which is to not try and rival right-wing populists by making untenable promises. If they learn a few key lessons like that one, then I think there's everything to play for.
If we want to safeguard democracy, we should listen to what their grievances are, but to try to get them back into the democratic fold.
The long-term strategy is to educate the population, because education seems to inoculate people against voting far right.
I think we have a chance of seeing a turnaround within the next year. A chance. I'm not saying it's a certainty, but I think we have a chance.
We are facing probably one of the lowest turnouts in history for the European Parliament elections.
When you don't vote, what you really do is that you give your vote to someone else. You're not just not voting, you're not just not choosing. You are essentially giving a party you might hate 1/10, 1/5, half of your vote, depending on how everyone else votes.
Bringing out that vote is absolutely key. Making sure that mainstream voters actually come out on those days is the best way to counter populist mobilization.